Imagine you woke up one morning and realized the world's brain had gone from dial-up to warp drive overnight. AI is not a gadget, it's the new industrial revolution, and chips are the steel. If you're thinking about where to put your money for the next decade, AMD is a company you can't swipe past on your feed. Why AI is the investment of a lifetime. AI is changing how businesses make decisions, how software behaves, and frankly, how humans outsource thinking. From content generation to drug discovery, AI demands huge amounts of compute. That demand doesn't disappear overnight, it compounds. If you back the right hardware companies that power AI, you aren't buying a product, you're buying a tap on the world's power grid. The big idea: software eats the world, but silicon feeds the software. The chips and platforms that let AI train and infer at scale are the backbone. Investing in companies that provide that backbone during the early mass adoption phase is how you catch exponential growth before it's obvious to everyone. What just happened? Intel and Nvidia's $5 billion deal. Nvidia is making a $5 billion investment in Intel common stock, and alongside that, the two companies announced plans to collaborate on AI infrastructure and x86 systems with Nvidia GPU chiplets integrated into Intel silicon. This is a major, strategic partnership that reshuffles alliances in the data center and PC spaces. Why it matters? It's a consolidation of muscle in the AI compute stack, CPU plus GPU integration underpinned by capital, and it changes the competitive landscape for everyone, AMD included. Analysts and industry outlets are already parsing who wins, who loses, and what comes next. The strategic angle: is Nvidia trying to box out AMD? You can read that deal two ways: as a partnership to accelerate integrated systems, or as a defensive move. Nvidia, already dominant in AI GPUs, and Intel, attempting to regain data center momentum, now have closer ties. It's reasonable to say part of the logic is to blunt AMD's encroachment, because AMD has been aggressively closing gaps in CPUs and moving upstream into AI GPUs and infrastructure. But remember, competition in chips isn't a zero-sum ping-pong match. The more demand for AI compute, the more pie there is to go around, and alliances between giants don't remove the market's hunger for alternatives. Multiple vendor ecosystems tend to lower costs, raise innovation, and unlock new buyers who would have been priced out, which is good news for AMD. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Who is AMD really? Quick primer: AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, is a major silicon designer, CPUs, GPUs, adaptive compute, FPGAs via prior acquisitions, and systems for data centers, PCs, and gaming. They build chips that power laptops, cloud servers, consoles, and increasingly AI racks. That combination, CPU plus GPU plus adaptable logic, positions AMD as a multi-pillared competitor in AI infrastructure. In plain English, AMD is not just a gaming GPU maker anymore. Think of them as a technology house that can deliver whole rooms of the AI factory, processors, graphics, and the plumbing that ties it together. Why AMD can catch up on inference economics. One of AMD's clearest advantages is cost efficiency. Several independent benchmarks and analyses suggest AMD's servers can deliver competitive inference performance at a lower total cost of ownership, TCO, in some workloads. That matters because when AI moves from flashy training runs to billions of daily inferences for consumer apps, chatbots, search, recommendation engines, operators will prefer the hardware that does the job cheapest. Put it this way: if inference is pizza delivery for AI, fast, cheap, and everywhere, AMD is building a fleet of low-cost, fuel-efficient scooters. You might still want a Ferrari, Nvidia, for the big events, but when you need to deliver 10 million slices across a city, the scooter wins. Technical differentiators. AMD's value props for AI: full stack breadth, CPUs, EPYC, GPUs, Radeon/Instinct, and adaptive logic from Xilinx give AMD flexibility to optimize different AI workloads. That's a rare hexachord in a market of soloists. Cost per inference. For many real-world inference tasks, TCO beats raw peak flops. If AMD's chips deliver comparable throughput per dollar, hyperscalers and cloud providers will buy. Ecosystem moves. AMD has been pushing partnerships and acquisitions to build software and systems that make it easier for customers to deploy AI workloads on non-NVIDIA hardware. Think of it like camera gear. One brand sells the biggest sensor, NVIDIA training GPUs, but another brand sells a cheaper mirrorless that's good enough for 80% of weddings and everyday use, AMD inference servers. The wedding photographers still count, but so do the everyday users, and there are way more of them. Picture a chain of 10,000 coffee shops that wants personalized, real-time recommendations for customers. Maureen, would you like your pumpkin latte today? Each request requires a tiny inference. Multiply by millions of daily customers, and you need inference everywhere. The coffee chain could invest in a few massive NVIDIA training data centers, but for inference at scale across regions, they'll favor cheaper per-request hardware. That's where AMD's value-for-money chips could win the day. Or the mobile robot army. Example: imagine thousands of warehouse robots needing local, low-latency inference. The smaller cost and power envelope of AMD-based solutions makes deployment feasible at scale, not just for elite players. The long-term investment thesis. If you're a long-term investor, here's the thesis in plain English: structural demand growth. AI is not a fad, it's a new utility. The compute it needs will grow exponentially for years. Multiple winners, strong incumbents like NVIDIA will capture a lot, but there's room for alternatives that deliver better price/performance for specific workloads. AMD's multi-vector approach, AMD's combination of CPU, GPU, and adaptive compute plus its push into AI software and partnerships gives it a path to be a serious supplier to cloud providers, enterprises, and OEMs. Valuation and optionality. If you invest with a long horizon, owning a piece of AMD is a bet on diversification in the AI compute stack. And if they execute, you capture upside as markets move from scarcity to commoditization. And with this, AMD could hit between $300 to $500 by 2028. In other words, you're not buying a lottery ticket, you're buying a stake in the industrial workhorse that could profit as AI goes mainstream. Note this as well. Fear God, and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come, and worship Him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night. Who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, here are they that keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14 verses 7 to 12. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.